Hello everyone, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. In our last class, I taught you the principle of completing the square method. You would recall that we used this principle to derive the quadratic formula. Now, in this video lesson, I'll be teaching you how to use this completing the square method principle to solve a given quadratic equation. So we have a question here we are going to solve. And the question reads, solve the quadratic equation by completing the square method. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Solution. The first thing we have to do is to transfer the constant term, which is plus 1, to the right hand side. If we do that, we would have 2x squared plus 3x equal to minus 1. Now, if the plus 1 crosses to the right hand side, it becomes 0 minus 1, which will give us minus 1. Next, we will reduce the coefficient of x squared to 1. That is the number multiplying x squared. And that number is 2. How do we reduce this coefficient to 1? We are going to divide each term by the coefficient of that x squared. And the coefficient is 2, so we are using 2 to divide each term. That is going to give us 2x squared divided by 2 plus 3x divided by 2 equal to minus 1 divided by 2. You would notice that the coefficient of x squared, which is 2, will divide the denominator 2, and so we'll be left with 1x squared, which is simply x squared, and then plus 3x over 2 equal to minus 1 over 2. At this point, we are going to do something very important, which is find half of the coefficient of x in our equation at this point. The coefficient of x at this point is 3 over 2. So we are going to find half of it. Half of 3 over 2 is simply 1 over 2 times 3 over 2. Now, when we get half of this 3 over 2, which is 1 over 2 times 3 over 2, we are going to square the result. Okay, so let us take a look at it. 1 over 2 times 3 over 2, the numerators will multiply out to give us 1 times 3, which is 3. And then the denominators will also multiply out 2 times 2 to give us 4. So half the coefficient of 3 over 2 will give us 3 over 4. We shall square this 3 over 4, then add it to both sides of the equation. Please take note of this. Whatever the sign of this coefficient of x is, has to be maintained in whatever we are doing here. In our case, it is plus 3 over 2. So when we did half of 3 over 2, of course, it's going to give us plus 3 over 4. Suppose the coefficient of x, maybe the mathematical sign is minus, then we'll be thinking of minus 3 over 4 in brackets squared. Is that okay? So always remember to carry along the mathematical sign in front of the coefficient of x. Let us proceed. Half of the coefficient of x we got here is 3 over 4. So that plus 3 over 4, we will enclose it in bracket and then square. Now we are not going to solve it out. Take notes. To get 9 over 16, we won't do it now. We'll just add that plus 3 over 4 in bracket squared to the left and to the right hand side of our equation. If we do that, we would get x squared plus 3 over 2x. Now watch. Plus open bracket plus 3 over 4 close bracket squared equal to the right hand side. We are going to have minus 1 over 2 plus now open bracket plus 3 over 4, close your bracket and square. We have added square of half of the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. So what we're going to do now is to combine the squares on the left hand side. What are the terms bearing squares on the left hand side? The terms bearing squares on the left hand side are x and plus 3 over 4. So we are going to pick x plus 3 over 4 and close it in bracket and then square it. And so that will be equal to the right hand side. We have minus 1 over 2 plus open bracket plus 3 over 4 raised to power 2. Now that plus 3 over 4 raised to power 2, we are going to simplify that right hand side. Simplifying that right hand side, we would get 3 squared, which is 9, over 4 squared, which is 16. So the right hand side being simplified gives us minus 1 over 2 plus 9 over 16. Now we are going to simplify the right hand side further. Minus 1 over 2 plus 9 over 16. The LCM of the denominators is 16. So we do 16, which is the LCM, divided by the denominator 2 will give us 8. And then 8 times minus 1 will give us minus 8. Then we have our plus. Go to the second fraction. Repeat something similar. The LCM 16 divided by the denominator 16 will give us 1. 1 times 9 is 9. So we have minus 8 plus 9 over 16. So altogether, what our equation will now look like is, on the left hand side, x plus 3 over 4 in brackets raised to power 2 equal to, on the right hand side, 1 over 16. At this point, we are going to take square root of both sides of the equation. Remember, our aim is to get x. And so we must find a way to make x subject of the formula. So first, remove the square on the left hand side. And to do this, we are taking square root of both sides. If we introduce square roots to the left hand side, that square root will cancel the square. So you'll be left with x plus 3 over 4. Then introduce square roots to the right hand side. The square root will come with plus or minus. So we have plus or minus square root of 1 over 16. Okay. To make x subject of the formula, we need to remove plus 3 over 4 on the left hand side, transfer it to the right hand side. So that leaves us with x equal to minus 3 over 4. Now if the plus 3 over 4 crosses to the right, it will become minus 3 over 4. Then plus minus square root of 1 over 16 will give us square root of 1, which is 1, and then square root of the denominator 16, which is 4. So we have x equal to minus 3 over 4 plus or minus 1 over 4. These are fractions, so we work out the LCM. The denominators are the same, 4, 4, so the LCM is 4. If you work that out, 4 divided by the denominator 4 will give us 1. 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. Then we have plus or minus. The LCM 4 divided by the second denominator 4 will give us 1. 1 times the numerator 1 will give us 1. So we have x equal to minus 3 plus or minus 1 all over 4. At this point, we shall split this term on the right hand side into 2 results. One will be that which we go with plus, and then the other will go with minus. So we have x equal to minus 3 plus 1 over 4. Let us solve that out first and see what we are going to get. Minus 3 plus 1 will give us minus 2, then over 4. So we have minus 2 divided by 4, which reduces to minus 1 over 2. So the value of x is equal to minus 1 over 2. Or, in the second result, we are going to pick that one of minus. Okay, so we have that x is equal to minus 3 minus 1 over 4. Simplifying that, minus 3 minus 1 will produce minus 4, then over 4. Therefore, x would give us minus 4 divided by 4, which is equal to minus 1. Therefore, the two possible values of x are x equal to minus 1 over 2 or x equal to minus 1. And of course, these are the values of x. We've been able to obtain the roots of this quadratic equation using the completing the square method. I hope you enjoyed this video lesson. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, GMAT41. Share this video to your friends and invite them to subscribe to GMAT41's YouTube channel also. Of course, we have exciting things for you to learn from this channel. In our next class, I'll be teaching you how to use quadratic formula. Okay, the formula we derived using completing the square method. We are going to find out how to use quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation and, of course, obtain the roots of the quadratic equation. See you in our next class. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section and I will be there to respond.